gone for a month. I've been gone from this podcast for a month. I missed two And by the way, I do want to say that John Andrisky, I listened to that podcast. I thought he did a great job. With you yourself, Dave.
Yeah, I mean,
it's different from our normal.
But he didn't have anything to drink.
Right. Well, I don't even think that matters. I think.
I was trying to shove whiskey down.
The format was different, but I thought he did a great job. It was a nice change of pace, a nice change up. And then you guys last time, you didn't miss a beat. I mean, okay, maybe your stats were lacking a little bit. But I think you guys had a great show, 2 weeks ago.
Last week we went back to the beginning of this podcast. It was just me and Dave.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's a good time,
It's better than fine. It was a good.
But we need stats guy.
And I mean, call it what you want, but I enjoy doing it.
And well, of course, we all enjoy doing it.
I had missed this podcast.
Well, I did. I missed it when we were on vacation in Victoria, which I talked about in the last podcast. And
I do want to bring that up because you said a few things on the last podcast. I think you want to save that for later.
We'll save it for the second part after this thing. Okay. Let's go back to today's game because there's more stuff to talk about here.
Yeah.
So we lose this game, ton of extra time in this game, because at the end of this game, the Rapids players were flopping all over the field. They were just staying on the field. And again, what game was that we were talking about where, the last podcast was a game before that, where was it a New York player who was down on the field for, a couple minutes, and all of a sudden, they stop the play, and then, it pops up.
The referee gets within 10 yards.
10 yards, and he pops up. And it happened again, was listening to on the radio.
Yeah, he was number 5. I don't know.
Yeah, they were calling for the training staff to come out, and then he just pops up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, unless the MLS starts reprimanding these teams for doing this type of stuff,
I agree.
You're going to keep giving it, because they lost 7 in a row. They wanted this win badly. They were going to do whatever it took to get this win.
Yeah.
Even playing dirty, which they were.
Yes, including trying to knock the ball out of the hands of the goalie.
Yeah.
I mean, who does that? And not only that, the moment they touch the ball, it's a handball.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell?
And we both watched that. It was our end of the field. The ref didn't even...
Yeah.
He saw it. He didn't even say anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, in the second half, there's a point where Lampson actually had the ball in his hands, and he kind of almost threw an elbow at the defender because it's get out of my way.
I will say, I heard this was the ref's, was it his first game?
Oh, was it?
I think he's a rookie ref.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
I believe. I don't know.
Well, if that's true, the players certainly took advantage because there was literally a scrum at the end of the game.
There was, and that's I didn't get to see it because I was listening to it on the way over here, but the scrum at the end of the game, from what I heard, was they scored that last goal, put them up 2-0, and then they came over and celebrated in front of the bench of the Loons. That's bullshit.
So on the radio or whatever you're listening to, did they say why Harrison Heath got his red card?
No, they didn't say.
Okay, and I saw somebody I heard somebody on the train say that they heard he threw a bottle of water at the player.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, my assumption was he threw a punch. If he threw a bottle of water, that'd be great because I hate to bring it back to baseball again, but when you see those bench clearing brawls, that's what this reminded me of.
Yeah,
the whole 22 players that were on the field kind of went towards the sideline, and then it was a scrum after that. You could see I thought I saw a fist flying, but I did not see it. It just kind of looked like it.
The announcer, the United announcer, I don't know his name, but
Callum Williams
on radio.
Oh, never mind.
Radio guy.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, this soccer game has turned into a hockey game."
Nice.
At the end of it, and he's like, "Oh, there's Tim Howard and make it." And Callum's telling Tim Howard to go back to his goal. And I'm like, go back to your goal.
I think I made the comment, Tim Howard ran out of goal all the way up to midfield.
Yep.
I thought he was getting a red card because that's about when the referee raises
and I think it was because he was a captain. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, it's one of those things where I know you had a 7-game losing streak, and it's been bad for you guys for
They're
a couple months.
The worst team in the league.
Yeah. But have a little respect. You're not at home. You're in an away stadium.
Yep.
You could have caused a flipping riot doing what you did.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, when we left the game, they blew the whistle. The stadium was just boos. I mean, it was just like loud chorus. I would guarantee those referees were secure.
They should have been.
Yeah.
I want to make this point because, like, I had no other way of describing the game. Honestly, in the first 15 minutes, I thought, hey, it's going to be a great game. There was a lot of action.
There was,
The game was wide open. They were going up and down the field, both Colorado and Minnesota. It looked good, but, man, it came to a screeching halt. The game flow just abruptly stopped. There was injuries and stoppages, and there was 4 minutes of added time in the first half, 5 in the second, and injury after injury, real or fake, it doesn't matter. The game flow was terrible. And so I didn't know how to describe this game other than, the United lost. So as a United fan, I'm going to say it sucked. But as a neutral observer, the only way I could think to describe the game was interesting. Because I've never watched a game quite like that before. I heard, and Dave and we heard people describe it exactly the same way. I heard a lady on the way out say, well, that game was interesting, and that's exactly what I thought.
Well, when you have 2 goals called back on VAR, that's crazy. I mean, getting 1 goal called back on VAR, that happens. But 2 goals called back on VAR, that's crazy. And then you play into the whole end of the game thing with the riot and all that stuff. That doesn't happen.
Right.
It doesn't happen.
No.
And, for someone like myself, I was almost rooting on the fight. Because I was like, it's something, right?
It is something.
It's like...
Show me some emotion.
Yeah, there's some emotion there. There's, some players are pissed off.
But I can go back to the beginning of this game and go, when I saw who was out in this game, I said... It's gonna be a very close game, and I don't know if we're gonna win this one. Because you miss your goaltender's out, your top backline guy in Calvo is out. Those 2 right there, those are 2 key cogs to this team. And when those 2 are missing, crazy shit can happen.
Well, I mean, we always can go back to the first 5 games where Francisco Calvo was at fault for every single.
He was,
But when he's in the lineup. My God, it's a different team.
It is,
And so I was like, okay, so he's been playing at left back. He's gone. Mark Birch is going to come in. And I was like, well, maybe Miller will be the guy. But then I was like, oh, that's right. Jerry's been injured. So Miller's going to be on the right. And Birch is going to be on the left. I'm like, this isn't going to go.
No.
And then I was like, well, Romario's not available.
Nope.
So who's going to play?
Alexei.
And it's like, we know Gomez doesn't play well. We already talked about it minutes ago. So getting on something that the people next to us have suggested that we talk about. About the manager being questionable. It's more than that. Because Miguel is the first sub. He comes out, and Pangop comes in. And I don't know if Dave heard me, but I vocalized, wait a second, Franz Pangop plays on the left, and now he's coming in on the right. And I was like, Alexi sucked. But I was like, you can't make any other moves.
There's nothing else.
I was like, Miguel's been I get it. But there's nobody else to play.
He was put in a box today because of all the guys who were out. There were 5 guys out today.
Well,
so he was put in a box.
And the second substitute was Ibsen. Right?
Ibsen,
And that worked out. Because he had a goal that ended up getting called back. But, it comes back to the depth of this team. And I know everybody wants Adrian Heath fired. Everyone.
I mean, again, we'll talk about it a little bit again because we've talked about this on the podcast numerous times. Has Heath been given the pieces that he needs?
Exactly.
If he has, then it's his fault. If he hasn't, then it's what's his name? Manny's fault.
And look, no one, anyone in this bar who follows brew pub that follows this team, anyone on Twitter, it doesn't matter who you are, you cannot say that Adrian Heath has been given the tools to win a game.
No.
I mean, look at the players that we have.
Yeah.
Birch is past his prime. He was good. It was literally last year was that final year.
Yep.
Maybe he's a sub.
Yeah.
But,
and to be fair, like if we were going to continue talking about this game, the first goal that the United allowed, you're not going to do much about that. It kind of came out of nowhere, but it was a great goal. It was a great header.
Really good header.
It's almost impossible to defend. You can't blame Lampson. It's hard to even blame the defense on that one. It was just...
Boxall was right on it.
Yeah.
It's like Alexi Gomez. We talk about him all the time. Who brought him in? Manny Lagos.
Yep.
Has he been good? No. Not at all. We could bring Christian Ramirez into this. Why is he gone? Manny Lagos.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We can talk France Pangon. Why is he here? Manny Lagos. I mean, sure, Adrian Heath maybe has some say in signing off on a player, but you get these comments from him, we like what we see, or we like what he might bring us later on.
Yeah.
Those are towing the company line.
Of course they are.
And so for me, maybe Adrian Heath has some shortfalls, specifically substitutions.
Yeah.
I don't think he's very good at substituting. I don't think he's very good at reading the tactical move necessary.
No.
But, what does he have to work with?
Yeah, let's not beat a dead horse here. We've talked about this. We have to get to the end of the season and see what they do in the off season to improve this team. And if Manny gives Heath the right parts, we should have a competitive team next year.
And I fully support the concept that if we aren't a winning team, now winning meaning above the playoff line, by the summer window, I support Adrian gone. If we've made some moves in the offseason. And, after the break, we'll probably talk about this.
Well,
about the passing grade comments.
And you talked about it, last episode, but it's a lot easier to fire the head coach than it is to fire the general manager.
Of course, and we talked about last episode, Dave, and the fact is, Manny is how would you put it? He's been around Minnesota soccer forever.
Minnesota soccer legend.
He's a Minnesota soccer legend. So this is the reason why he's here.
Yeah.
Okay.
But don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he has carte blanche over everything. He's on a leash as well.
I think he does.
What?
I think he has carte blanche.
Well,
no. I think it'll come to...
Because why is he here? I mean, to be perfectly honest, he has no experience at MLS level, other than to play.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's continued to hold his position at all is a complete shock.
But I think the deal is that Manny's here because the owner, when they went to MLS, said, "Well, you're a legacy guy. You've been with us, with the team in Minnesota for I don't know how many years, and his dad was the coach here for how many years? So bring this guy in to have a little Minnesota connection to everything. So you get a little bit of a play. I mean, look at Paul Molitor on the Twins, right?
Yeah.
He got a little play because he's a legacy Minnesota guy.
Oh yeah.
The owner said when the owners got brought in the new GMs for the Twins, they said you have to keep Paul Molitor for one more year, even though the new GM said I want my own guy. Well, and guess what happens? They had a losing season, and he gets fired.
Here's another take. Like, can you imagine this year without Darwin Quintero? So,
no.
Like, I guess you have, if you want to give Manny Lagos credit for Darwin Quintero, that's fine, and maybe he should. But can you imagine if he didn't make that single move of signing Darwin Quintero, what would this season look like?
Oh, it would have been terrible. And here's the thing: you can hit some home runs. You can hit some home runs as a GM, and all GMs do it.
Right.
But what else have you brought to the table? Alexi Gomez, that's a mistake.
France Pangot, Bertrand Eko Owundi.
Now maybe Bob Rodriguez, and Ibarra are good players.